Welcome to today's edition of Mental Health Matters. Today, we're going to be talking about enabling. I have my friend Diana Garcia on the show. We're just going to have a conversation and share our experience about enabling. Get you something to drink, get you a snack, and come on back. Good morning, Diana.
Morning, Jesse. How are ya?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. I've been getting I'm talking some very good rest. Like a lot, like good sleep, good rest. Like,
Because you're not enabling anymore?
right, exactly. That's what I want to talk about this. I got to be careful how I share it, but
Well, absolutely. Of course. Of
yeah.
course.
And it's like, oh man, I'm talking about like, it's just amazing. Like for real. The other day I think I went to bed about 7 p.m. and I woke up at like 3:48 a.m., stayed up for 15 minutes, went back to bed and woke up at 6:15. So I've been getting a lot of good sleep. So
Well, that's what happens when you stop enabling.
I know exactly. Exactly. Uh, so just introduce yourself, and I know you're not a stranger to the show, and we're gonna jump right on into it.
Okay. Diana Garcia here. I work for a nonprofit. I assist the housing coordinating team in Placer and Nevada counties, and I'm the program manager.
Yes, she is. She's fabulous.
Oh, thank you for that.
Oh man. So how was your weekend so far?
It's going well. Weekends always go well, and they just go by so fast because I always have so many tasks in my head what I want to do, and
Yeah.
then when it comes down to it, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to slow down a little bit. As my
Yeah.
brother says, I'm not 25 anymore. Before I could get like 1,000 things done in a day, and
Yeah.
now it's more like 800.
Right, exactly. I
How
brought
about you?
my weekend's been good so far. It's been very chilled. I had house cleaners to come over and clean up, every 2 weeks. But now I've kind of how can I say I don't need them anymore. So I'm able to clean up my own house and it's clean and
Well,
yeah,
I'm thinking because you've cleaned house.
yeah, right. It's clean. I mean, it's amazing. So obviously, my grocery shopping, cooked, and so not eating out as much, and my food is lasting. So it's good. It's good. So I've
Yeah,
been
and cooking for yourself is self-care.
yes,
So, because to
yes,
me, going out to eat, I know people like to go out to eat, which I don't poo-poo going out to eat, but to me, it's a celebration.
yes,
It's not something that should happen daily. With my
right,
exes from Texas, it was like they felt like they were being um punished if they didn't get to go out at least every other day, and it's like, why?
right.
We're sustaining right now, and why make it like that? And there was always a pushback from that, but I don't mind going out to eat. It's
Yeah,
just to me, I like I like to know what's going on in my food.
right.
because
Exactly.
there's so many preservatives, and it's really scary because
Yeah,
your body can't process those things. And I've just been very mindful of that, because if I look at a package and I can't read the name, that means that I'm not getting it. So it
I
and that
get that.
really discounts a lot of things, because there's a lot of things that I like,
Right.
but I know that are not going to be good for me. Not that I can't have them, but I just decide not to on a lot of things, but I still every now and again celebrate something.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. So enabling happens when you justify or support problematic behaviors in a loved one under the guise that you're helping them. That can consist of like giving money to an adult child who has not managed their money wisely or making excuses for someone's anger management issues. And when I read that definition, I thought that was interesting. One of the things that stood out to me with this definition is giving the money to an adult child, to an adult child. So, because I did my research, looked that up, and obviously I know what an adult child is. Um, there was a situation happened recently where I was myself dealing with an adult child. And, I didn't, but the crazy thing about it, I did not realize I was enabling this individual. I really, thought I was helping and providing support. And that was my mindset, and not really looking at this individual problematic behaviors, when they decide to, I'm just going to have to quit my job. I know, I get money from you. Or I'm just going to, you know, talk crazy to somebody. I mean, it's just crazy. Or I'm just getting angry because I don't get my way, and you're gonna eventually cave in and things like that. And so, I didn't know that even within like with like my mom them, I have a brother that's older that has a daughter, and he stays with my mother. He has no motivation to get a job, take care of his child, uh, give my mom money to help her pay for bills, zero. And my mom excuse for that is, um, I do have another brother who's deceased. He got killed in gun violence, and her excuse is, she don't want him to go out there in the streets, and something happened to him and he never come home. But I tell my mom, like, well, what does it have to do with him getting a job and becoming a father financially to his daughter? you know and sometimes that happens. I mean, I think psychologically we have our own way of thinking when we're dealing with an adult child
You
you
know what
know
that is? It's called guilt.
yes. Hmm.
It's called guilt.
Yeah.
And especially in this case that you're talking about your mom, I mean, I'm sure she feels guilty about what happened to her child. And
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not letting that happen again.
Right.
And then you got a culture thing too.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
same thing in the Mexican my family is that's what you do. You come together and everybody embraces what's happening with this family. I mean, the same kind of thing happened to me as a young adult. I was prosperous, very prosperous in something that I was doing,
Yeah.
but my little sister at the time, her husband moved out and she had 3 kids, uh, 6 no, was it 5, 3, and 6 months. And so,
um
and he just left with nothing. He didn't give her nothing. So,
yeah.
of course, my mom and dad and we supported her.
Yeah.
She had other things that, she was able to keep her apartment. She was able to get on assistance, but we helped her with the kids with all those other things.
Yeah.
But it really backfired because it came to a point where it was expected.
Right.
And
Uh-huh.
and so that became a problem, especially after my mom and dad passed, because
Yeah.
I'm like, you're old enough, you can get a job,
Right.
your kids are moving along, and it became this big problem between myself and my sister, and unfortunately, it made that whole thing collapse, and it's my
Yeah.
fault because I was enabling.
Right.
And when I said no more, then it became a thing.
Yeah.
So personally, that's what's happened to me with enabling, and I didn't think I was enabling.
Right.
Even as a young adult, when that time I should have been preparing for my retirement, I was using all my monies to support her kids.
Yeah.
And so I always thought of it because I would get pushback from the people that I was around. They're like, you really need to do this, and to help you so you can retire at a certain age. And I'm
Yeah.
like, they are my retirement. They're my
Right.
security. I have to do this. And they're like,
Right.
well, it's, you should really look at what you should be doing for yourself. And
Right.
now I see that
Right.
as I go to the next stage of my life,
Yes.
and it's like,
Yes.
oh man, they were right. But
Right.
it's too late now, but that's okay. I don't
Yeah.
I don't think that I did something wrong with those kids, because now they're all three of them productive adults,
Right.
and which is fabulous. But it really didn't help my sister, and I know she still has hard feelings about that, but I can't let I can't be that person
Right.
for her.
Right.
You have to be the adult. You have a new husband, and you guys should be able to
Yeah.
do this.
Ye
It's not my responsibility.
yes,
And
exactly.
professionally, it's happened also, especially in this work that I'm doing now. When I first started, it was like, you felt like you could assist and help, and then it became an enabling thing. And then I
Right.
saw in my professional that was happening too. It's like, we have to have barriers here.
Right.
We want to assist, but we
Right.
can't enable.
Right. Exactly.
And
Um,
that's a hard thing for the new people that I'm training, is to make sure that they know this is where you have to draw that line. and you
exactly.
and you can't be so invested in it that it becomes something personal that you feel like you have to do. The choice is theirs,
Exactly.
and they have to do what they need to do to
Right.
succeed. You can't make
Exactly.
them succeed.
Right.
They have to do the work. And
Yes.
that took me a long time to realize, but it's a both professionally and personally. But
Yeah.
you have to look at those kind of things in that kind of lens.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're chasing your tail, and you're not getting enough sleep,
Yeah.
and you're
Right.
not taking
Exactly.
care of yourself. So,
Exactly. I mean, yeah, I didn't even think about the professional part. You're 100% accurate on that. I think I've tried my best throughout the years to um, train and coach staff and individuals on how to set those boundaries and position the people that are being served in a way that encourages independence and not enabling. There was many situations where was not brought to my attention, and for example, like the clients are capable of going to the pharmacy and getting their prescriptions, but instead, I learned years and years ago that a staff was just going to pick it up for them instead of saying, "Hey, see if you can get a ride. If not, I can be a backup." And you have to go here with me to pick up your medications, you know, things like that. Or clients are capable of filling out applications for housing, more than capable of getting on the computer and doing it, but instead, the support that they're receiving fills it out for them and drop it off instead of them taking a ride with them and asking questions. I mean, crazy. And so, and that's a real thing. People really struggle with that because they feel like they're not helping them or providing their support and not realize that they need to be involved, they need to be engaged because this is their life, and we're here to promote independence along with the support. And even today,
absolutely,
it's a
absolutely.
struggle. It's a struggle for some people, and to be honest, which I do think to myself, some days I'd be like, why is this so hard? But I do think in my personal life, I understand why it's so hard. Even though it's on the other side, on the professional side. But it's a real, real struggle for people, and it's an ongoing conversation, believe it or not.
Oh, absolutely. And that happens. I have that conversation every day,
Yeah,
as you
yeah,
might guess. And
yeah,
the thing is that you have to be able to, at 5 o'clock, it's time to disconnect. And so
Yes.
that's a huge thing, especially
Hmm.
when people are clients
Yes.
that are calling when it's in need for them. It's like,
Yeah.
no, they
Yeah.
can figure it out after 5.
Yeah.
And if it's an emergency, they can call 911.
Yes.
You are not the go-to person. They have to
Exactly.
go to themselves,
Yeah.
and the disconnect has to be where you reset. Because
Right.
I want them to care,
Right.
but there's a difference between caring and enabling and doing.
Exactly.
And even if you see the picture and you know what's going to happen if they don't do X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. They have
Yeah.
free will. They have
Yes.
to be able to do that so they can have independence,
Right.
so they can do this on their own. You're here just to help and assist. They are going to be the doers. And if
Right.
they fail, that's okay.
Hmm.
They will hopefully learn. If
Right.
not, it might be a few times before they will learn. But
Exactly.
that's not your job to make them succeed, to assist. But the successful part of it comes when the client does it on their own.
Exactly. You know, one of the things that we've dealt with is the support person get text messages after hours from clients, and then they come in the morning. Oh my God! Oh, they got into an argument. We need to go there right now. No, they'll be all right. It's not an emergency. There was no physical contact. Nobody went to the hospital. Police wasn't called. Um, oh, oh, John stole Sally's soda again. It's the third time. We need to go there now. No, 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 no. We have to teach them these skills to
Mm-hmm.
be able to navigate through conflict and crisis. You know, that is especially if they're non-threatening, you know, and by being on call. And the good thing about me, I do pop-up visits and I'm on call as well as you are. And when I get those calls about somebody drunk my soda at 2 in the morning, it's not an emergency. You know, let's figure this out on Monday morning or Monday afternoon. But
You're
this is not
saying
an
it, you're
emergency.
saying a lot nicer than I was, because I was
Uh,
just like, this is not an emergency.
Yeah,
Do not call. Do
right,
not pass go. Do not
right.
collect $200. This is not an emergency.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's it's about teaching these skills and how to deal with conflict or problem that arise, and they just dump all this on the support people, and they're gonna solve everything. And I just sit back, and it doesn't work like that.
No, and it'll never work. And then the support team is just going to be chasing their tail,
Yeah,
because everybody's emergency is not your emergency,
right,
and it's not an emergency. It's
right,
an emergency to them. I mean, you can validate that, but it's like, okay, if this is an emergency, how do you think how you can solve this next time
right,
it happens?
right,
You can perhaps do this, or you can perhaps
right,
do this or that. Give them some solutions to
right.
that problem if it arises again. But if they choose not to and think that you're going to make it all better, that's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. I that's one thing that I I have a few people in my life. Actually, I'm gonna say three to be exact. They're not gonna play the pity patty with me. They're not gonna play the wars me game. They're not. When I say they're not going for it. Trust me, believe me. And it's being human. You know how you go through life. You go through things with other people, and you know. And you go, you want to talk to that support person about what happened, what went on, and blah blah blah, and they'd be like, "Well, I told you should have been cut that short, or I told you should have been did this and that," and I'm like, "Well, you don't understand," and I'm trying to, no, that's your fault. You need to do this A, B, C, and D, and stop doing A, B, C, and D. And at the time, it doesn't feel good because sometimes you want your ego stroked, and you play the
God
damsel in
syndrome,
distress.
the God syndrome, the
Yeah, right,
white,
right.
the the warrior on the white horse that's going to
Yeah,
save you.
yeah. Oh no, 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 no. They're not doing that. Not even
Yes,
1%.
I see that a lot, and I'm just
Yeah,
like, no, that's not what
yeah,
we are.
right,
But you have to decide how to. You have to manage this so they can manage this,
right,
not
exactly.
the other way around.
Right. Exactly. So it's interesting. So it's three of them. One person ain't playing games. They straight to the point. Look, I got things to do. They'll listen, but they you're not gonna talk to them 20 or 30 minutes about this. I've told you before, so they straight to the point. Which my personality, I do need that because it calls me to when I leave from talking with them, it calls me to be like, okay, yeah, that's true. The other person is on a totally opposite of that. They're more patient. They're more understanding. They'll listen to a certain extent, and after that, they delivery is more softer, but they're gonna deliver.
Hmm.
And the third person is a combination of the two. You don't know what you're gonna get, okay? So, oh, sometimes they come out like thunder and lightning, and then other times they come out very patient, very understanding, showing empathy, but then they get to the point. And it's funny that I'm talking about this because I was actually thinking about that this morning, because I had talked to three of them within a 4 day period of time. And I thought to myself this morning, it's funny how their whole approach is the same way, but how they get to their approach is totally different. But then I also realized I told myself I do need that. I don't need the cuddling. I don't need the because my personality is strong, you know. And so they hey, they're gonna give it to you and they don't enable my negative thoughts when I knew that I should have did the things I should have done. Put it like that. So
Absolutely,
that
absolutely.
that definitely helped me. So there was a situation recently happened that you're aware of, and you know, like I said earlier, I was enabling a loved one, and man, I mean, it was a while, like for 6 years to be exact, and when I tell you, I put everything in to enable this individual because they're smart, they're articulate, and I knew when I saw red flags, but I overlooked them. And when we would be out in the community, and somebody, will give a compliment to this individual, and they would just strike and just very harsh words, and I'm like, well, they wasn't doing it. They was giving you a compliment. Well, I'm tired of that, and just all this crazy stuff. And in terms of the financial part, that part I really felt bad about now that I'm looking back because you know the person dealt with like anxiety and depression and suicidal ideation and things like that, and their background structure or family member on one side of the family, I understand where that came from. Like, 'cause there's a lot of mental health challenges that was never dealt with and things like that. And one day I asked a family member on their other side of the family, "Hey, have this person been diagnosed with any, mental health, you know, problem?" And they said no, which I was really surprised because I'm like, we're living in the same home, and I'm like, wow, like it was just surprising to me. So recently something happened, and law enforcement had to get involved. I had to call them, and then when the mom reached out to me, she blamed me, which I was really surprised. I thought it was gonna be more okay, more understanding and
Yeah, but she's an enabler.
oh, 100%. Well, and
She's
let
an
me tell
enabler, so she's still trying to enable and blame you instead of him because it's your
yes,
fault. Yeah.
yes. I was when I tell you I was 100% surprised. I was I was like, oh, okay, because throughout my time of knowing the mom or whatever, she came off fair to a certain extent. She got a little ways, but at least with me, she was a little bit fair. But then I thought about it too. She got a loved one living there who got a full-time job, who's not paying any bills, Like, you know what I'm saying? So that person's not being held accountable either. So I just kind of piecing all this stuff together. I'm like, man, and now I haven't talked to the other individual that I had to call the police on, but I'm thinking like now, um, she really got him thinking that he was in the right. And I'm thinking like, how?
Well, the thing is, before, the reason why you guys were okay is that you were enabling too.
Yeah, right,
So both of you
right.
guys were doing that, but your light went off.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
light went off and said, "You know what? I'm full. I can't do this
Yes,
anymore." And you finally
yes,
were full.
yes,
She's not full yet, and she may never, and that has
yes,
to do with being the mother, I think,
yes,
in a lot of
yes.
different ways because of the guilt and whatever happened in the
Yeah,
child rearing time with her kids,
right.
but that's her thing.
Yeah,
And that's why there's this friction between you and the mom because you guys were on the same page.
exactly.
So it felt like you guys were good alliances for this
Right,
particular person. And
right,
now when you say, you know what, I'm done, it's your fault
right,
because you're not going to
right,
continue this. You're enabling.
right,
So now it's your fault
right,
because now he's not going to succeed because you're not going to take care of him.
right,
And he's a grown
right,
adult. So
right,
in this particular case, when they're a
right.
grown adult, their choices are their choices.
Yeah, yes. I've never looked at it like that. And that is the truth. We were actually doing the same thing
Hmm.
um, at different times. And now it's kind of like the ball is back on her now. And even when I was asked to give money to get him out of jail, that was a bold move. At
Well,
the
that's what you know why because that's what you've done in the past.
exactly.
So they're just looking at your past behavior,
Yeah,
thinking, oh, he's mad right now. He'll work through it, and he's
yeah,
gonna step up because that's what he does. So
right.
when you decided that no more, then it's like, dang man, he's a bad person.
Yeah,
He is. Look what he's doing. He
yeah,
meaning you,
yeah.
because you're not helping, and you're not helping. If you even helped, you're not helping him.
Right,
Uh,
right.
and so that, but they don't see it that way. You see it
Mm,
that way now. Before you
yeah,
did not, and the realization finally came for you, and
yeah,
that's a good thing because, as I always state with personal and professional, you have to put the mask on first.
yeah,
If you don't put the mask on first, then you're not going to be okay
yeah,
because, and then it becomes the anxiety for yourself, the non-sleeping, all the things that can happen to you, not only mentally and emotionally, but physically too. It becomes
yeah,
physical. It
yeah,
happens all of our senses, and when they go down, then that affects everything with you, not only personally, professionally too.
yeah, yeah.
So
That,
and it's hard. It's hard to come to that realization. I know
yeah,
with my own self with my sister, I didn't realize the damage I was doing until
yeah,
afterwards because it
yeah,
is damage
yeah, yeah.
because they're not succeeding. And the
Right,
only way that they're succeeding is if you or whoever else is the enabler.
right,
Enabling. Like my mom and dad and myself, we were all enabling because she
right,
had three young kids, and this is what you do
right,
as a family. But you
right.
have to put down those, okay, this is enough. This is
Yeah,
enough. You're now, assisting, but not enabling and doing everything so they can't succeed.
yeah. It's crazy because how you looking at this now, well, how I'm looking at this now, how you break this down, and you're 100% right about that. I don't know. I just, and I think a lot of it has to do with my own upbringing and the trauma I dealt with, and not having a support system, and all of that stuff growing up and wanting to be something to somebody else what I did not have growing up, and not realizing that I was doing more harm than good
Hmm.
by providing the help and support. Uh,
Everything. You
yeah,
were doing everything, and they were not able to do anything because they didn't have to.
right, exactly, and I'm
You
gonna
would
tell you
make it
another.
better. You would make it better.
Mhm. That's exactly right. And the last draw is, well, one of the last draws for me. It wasn't the last draw. I had, I think in my heart I had been cut the cord, so now it had to start manifesting itself. And when the individual quit their job, and their car note is like $800 a month or close to 800. And before they quit their job, they told me about it. They was like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna quit my job. I'm going on other interviews." And I said, "Well, I don't know if that's a good idea because you've not been offered a position. You have not gotten any um, what do you call that? Job offers."
Like an offer letter or
Yeah, yeah,
something
offer
saying,
letter, yeah.
yeah,
And
interviews are good, but that don't
yeah,
mean anything until you get an offer letter saying you're starting on this date. Then
right.
you do the proper notice.
Right. And the individual quit the job. And I'm like, okay, so, we had a few back and forth about that. But it was time to come to pay the car note. And so, of course, they asked me for it, and I told them no. And now, even though there's been little signs before that, because I had stopped, doing certain things and things like this, but this was like a huge thing, a big one, because I need my car and I need to look for a job. And I get a job, I need to get to work. And I was like, no, no, it was no longer a concern of mine. And so they did not want other people to know that they quit their job. It was actually, I was the only one that knew. And so, they had to go and borrow money from someone else who they did not want them to know that they quit their job. And they did. And this person gave them the money. And so the one I was enabling, he said to me,
So gave or lent.
lent. It's right. Well,
That,
it's going to
that,
come out to be a gave, trust me.
yeah.
And the person came to they was like, well, if you would have gave me the money, I would have never had to borrow this from this person and blah, 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 blah. And I said, that is no longer my responsibility anymore. I said, you know better. I said, you should be way ahead financially out of 6 years that you've lived in my home. Like you should be okay. Because even when the start of it, when they, start working or whatever, I told this individual, don't pay no bills. Put money up. Put money. I want this person to put money up so they can save their money, eventually get their own home, whatever. But just, that was my way. So this individual, I started recognizing, realizing that, oh, because they was like, well, I mean, after 3 months, at first I wasn't saying, hey, um, you doing okay? You putting your money up? I just assumed it was, right? And so after like 3 or 4 months, they started saying, oh, man, I only got $50 left and blah on my check. And I'm thinking like, well, how? You're not paying no bills. Like, what's going on? And I learned that they just stopped blowing their money. So from there, I'm like, well, next month you're gonna start paying bills. And so they started paying bills as requested, and they continued to blow their money. And know what I did? Gave them the exact amount that they gave me back to them. Because what I did when they paid bills, I stopped putting it up to the side. In my mind, I'm gonna save the money for you. You know,
Ooh,
yeah,
ooh,
yeah.
oh,
That's what I was doing. I'm gonna save the money for
oh,
you.
oh.
Yeah.
Listen,
And so they still continue to mess up. I'm just like, well, I'll just get them the money back.
but
Crazy.
did they pay that back though?
No, not at all.
Okay,
No, no.
okay, yeah,
Enabling.
that
Enabling.
yeah, and that's the and that now if you wanted to do a lesson, then it's like, okay, you have to pay this money back.
Yeah.
It's not free.
Yeah.
It's you have to pay it back. I mean,
Yeah.
in my own personal ventures with the exes from Texas
Yeah.
that had, kids when they adult kids that
Yeah.
would move in, and it's like, well, you have to pay rent. Why
Yeah.
do I have to pay rent? It's like, because this is my house. You're renting a room, and this
Right.
is how much it is. I mean, it wasn't anything, like
Yeah.
huge. It was
Yeah.
like, this is how much you pay a month, and there was such pushback from that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, then you don't have to live here. It's okay.
Right. Right.
If this is to help you, not
Right.
to help me.
Right.
And so that is and they were young adults. they had never had to do that before.
Right.
And it's like, why am I doing this now? And I go, because you're an adult.
Right.
You're not 7 or 8 years old. There's a
Right.
difference. There's
Right.
a
There is a
difference.
difference.
But you're an adult and you have to do something to support yourself. It's
Yes.
like, how are you going to support yourself when mom and dad are gone?
Right. Right.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
And even
Right.
if mom and dad were gone and you were with me, you'd still have to pay rent.
Right.
If you were
Yeah,
living
that's
with me, you have to do something.
yeah.
That's in I had uh um he was a stepson who was disabled.
Yeah.
He he got his social security, which was good, but he felt like he should be able to blow his money how he wanted to. And it was really hard for him because he had never had that structure before, because his mom and dad just gave him all of his money and he got to do whatever he wanted to.
Crazy.
He didn't have to do anything. And so when he moved in with me, this is what you have to do. And if you don't do any social things, as far as with, because he didn't think that he was disabled, so he didn't want to do anything with the community that could probably assist him. He didn't want to do that, which was
Right.
fine. But if you're not going to do any of that, when you get up in the morning, you have to make your bed,
Right.
you have
Right.
to do your laundry once
Right.
a week, and you have to go to your medical appointments,
Right.
and you have to take your meds. And if
Right.
you don't, then you have to find another place to live. It was
Exactly.
really hard for the parent
Yeah.
because they thought I was being harsh, and I'm like, no, this is accountability.
Right.
They have to be accountable for themselves.
Right. Right.
And so it was a lot of pushback, and but it was respect that happened in the home. These are the rules of the house, and this
Right.
is what you do.
Right.
And I
Right.
will check every day to make
Right.
sure you made your bed,
Right. Exactly.
to
That's
make sure
exactly
there's
right.
to make sure there's nothing in your room. There's water can be in there, but no food, no
Right.
nothing. You eat outside you eat at the table, and so there was rules of the house. So, but the enabling parents had such a hard time. It's like,
Wow.
okay, well, go live with your parent then, your other parent, because that's not what's going to happen here.
Right.
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 This is my house, and these are the rules.
Right.
I had these rules when my nieces and nephews would come over and stay for the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even when they were 5 and 6 years old, they
Yeah.
came to the house, and this is the rule at Aunt Diana's house.
Right.
Here's a step stool. You wash your hands before eating,
Yeah.
and you do your own dishes. Here's a
Yeah.
stool, and here's it's a dishwasher. I go back in my day, I was the dishwasher, so
Right. Right. Exactly.
just rinse it off and put it in the dishwasher. And
Right.
so when my siblings would come over and see their kids, how they would, this is what they did.
Yeah.
They would do that, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, they don't do that at home." And I go, "Well, this is the rule of the house here.
Right.
What you
Right.
do at your house is, I don't know."
Right. Your business, but here this has going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah. Isn't it, you know what though? Do you feel like, especially with the younger generations in their 20s and early 30s, just say 20s, um, I feel like just my experience with family members and they don't know, they don't have the what do you want to call that? Survival skills.
Well, they don't. They don't, and it was something that I always brought up with my siblings, especially my I call her my evil Irish twin, because we're 10 and a half months apart. When she started having kids, they her and her husband, they decided that they had to structure every moment of their kids' time. They
Right.
didn't have to clean their rooms. She cleaned their rooms. She did their laundry. She did everything for them. And I'm
Wow.
like, and so they were video games. They were always doing something. I said, they can't always be doing something, because how are they going to know what it's like to have free time to absorb what's going on in their lives?
Yeah.
If you're cleaning their room, how are they going to clean their room as an adult? It won't be
Right.
something that they will have structure to do.
Right.
How how is it that they're not doing chores?
Right.
How is it, they're it's like, oh, well, first it was like they're 4 years old. Then it was 7. They don't have time because of school. And then a teenager, there's not enough time. And then when you try to do it as an older teenager, they're not going to do it.
Right.
And then those kind of teenagers, especially my older sister's kids, they they're failing.
Yeah.
They're failing as adults because they didn't have that structure. And my sisters, my evil twin sisters, I hate to say that, but it's true. Her response was, "Well, mom works, so we didn't have that kind of mom that made
Right.
cookies and um, did this, that, and whatever." I said, "But the mom that we had showed us what we needed to do to succeed as an adult." I said,
Right.
"Our job, even though I wasn't a breeder and didn't have any kids, our job is to teach to so they'll be successful as they become young adults. If we don't teach them growing up, how do you expect them to do it when it's time for them to be adults?"
Right.
And that was her pushback, though. Always, well, we didn't get that. We didn't get the
Right.
cookies and cakes, and had to do chores or whatever. And it's like that to me. That was structure. There was
Right.
nothing. I don't see anything wrong with that because it
Right.
because mom and dad had that work ethic that we that was instilled. Well, not all of them, but
Right.
most of us,
Right. Right.
at least half of us, that
Right.
needed to do work, and because the other two were more enablers
Right.
than the worker bees, so to speak. So it's
Yeah.
like you're not giving them any advantage by doing everything for them.
I agree.
And so it's amazing because I see it in not only my immediate family with my siblings, but I see it with my cousins too, that are more like my siblings and their kids, and how
Yeah.
what kind of adults that they're having. And you can see that difference with how they were raised.
Yeah.
And so not having that structure, even though it seems like you're a mean person at that time when they're growing up,
Yeah.
it really changes the way that they grow up, and the respect that they give not only to their parents but to the
Yeah.
community, to be
Yeah.
successful community members. And that's always my hope whenever I touch any young person, is to have and command that respect.
Exactly.
But if you don't,
Exactly.
it's not going to happen.
Exactly. I remember we all had went out to we all went out somewhere. I'm just gonna say that. And this individual mom was there, myself, and a few more people, and they will not let this individual into this establishment because of the dress code. He wasn't dressed properly, and he spit
Oh,
in this girl's face who were at the door, whatever, spit in her face. And so
wow.
this is a true story. And
Wow.
so she called the security guards. And so he started running. And I started running after him because obviously I'm trying to protect him. And the security guards was a little bit overweight. So we both kind of outran them. And so I ended up telling him, like, stay here. I go and get the car. I went and got my car and I picked him up. And so this individual mom called him. It's like, where you all at? And so we had told her. Now, before she got there, I was like giving him an earful, like, why would you do that? That is so disrespectful. Why? And and you always trying to tell me what to do. And we're going back and forth. So when the mom got in the car, you know what she said? I'm glad you spit in her face.
There you go.
Totally two
There you
different,
go.
totally two different teachings.
Yeah,
Like,
there
and
you
I'm thinking,
go.
like, why? Why would you? And that's where this individual get that, um, what I say, narcissist or grandiose, conceited personality from.
Yeah.
Because I
Well,
was
because
livid.
it's being taught.
Right.
It's
Right.
about me. It's
Yeah.
about me,
Yeah.
me, me.
Yeah.
And when you live in a society, it's about us, all of us, how we could get along. We might
Right.
not agree, which is
Hmm.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have to be disrespectful.
Yes.
We can use our voices. And as you know, and I know, from what's happening from the top up, it's disrespectful
It's
what's
very
happening.
disrespectful.
And
Yeah.
so what happens with people who follow, they just continue that behavior.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's unfortunately that's what's happening with this current administration, is that the chaos is there because they like it,
Right.
they feed off of it,
Right.
and they like the division, and they like the name calling and back and forth, because then you don't have to worry about the real things that need to happen,
Yeah.
especially now in our country. But that it's that same mentality, whether
Yeah.
it's with being a parent child, or aunt, uncle, or even a relationship. When
Yeah.
somebody starts doing that, when you have a relationship in the different levels, from
Yeah.
siblings to cousins to coworkers to everything, and when you see that, you know that behavior's been learned,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I say I was,
encouraged, and that's
mhm.
the outrage, is when it's encouraged. It's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, stop.
Right. Right.
Why would you do that? Why would you like that if somebody else did that to you?
Yeah. And I said, would you like somebody did that to your mom or sister, somebody, your family? Like it
Or your
was no
face, or
remorse.
your face.
No remorse, zero remorse. But that's the type of stuff that was going on. Not to that level, but stuff like that, just the attitude and,
Well,
thinking,
the
right,
red
yeah,
flags right
thinking
there.
that's okay. Oh, yeah. And so, it was, yeah, it was just crazy. And I feel bad for this individual because either one or two things are going to happen. Either the thing that I've tried to instill and teach through the years, hopefully, it will eventually, those seeds that was growing eventually will start to grow and changes will occur, slow change, because trust me, it's not going to happen overnight. Or um, the bad part about this, or how I feel, is there's going to be a lot of negative things that happen as a result of to him because of some of the choices that he made. Because in his mind, he think that this is how life goes. He
Right.
think that this is, and it's not. That's not how life goes. You
but
can't
the,
just
but the thing is, Jesse, he hasn't learned those.
no,
He
no,
hasn't learned those because the way that his life has been structured is that he could do whatever he wants to, because somebody else is going to fix it.
exactly.
And so he is going to go through those hard choices, and those decisions that he makes is going
Yeah,
to it's going to be he has to learn those lessons,
yeah,
and they're hard lessons right now, but he's the one that has to decide which way he wants to go.
yeah, yeah,
And since he's never learned those lessons, he may I mean it's 50-50. He may
yeah,
or may not,
yeah,
and just continue to say, this is what I deserve, this is
yeah,
what needs to happen for me, not
yeah.
take because if you don't take responsibility for your actions, then nothing will change.
I
it'll
agree.
it'll be what it is, and
Right.
all you can do is just hope and pray, if you pray, that
Yeah.
he will eventually get out of it on the right side. But
Right.
he may not, and that's okay too, because you can still love him.
Right.
um as you know, there's people in my life where I've just chosen not to have that type of behavior. It's not that I don't love them, I just don't want them in my immediate life.
Yeah.
I wish them well, but to have them in my space and to bring down me is not acceptable.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
have to be on that side and that mindset. This is what they have to learn, not
Right.
what I have to learn.
Right. That's true.
What they have to learn.
That's true.
And the choices that they make going forward are going to be life lessons, hard lessons probably for them.
Right. Yeah. I definitely agree. I definitely agree. Um, I don't know. I think the one takeaway from me, the lesson I learned is, just uh I do more good than harm when I set boundaries and not look at the situation for what it is. Because
Mm.
I can't save nobody. I can't. I can. give what I could give in terms of knowing that life is a teacher. You know,
Hmm.
I'm not life in terms of teaching an individual when they make bad choices. Life has to do that for them, like it did for me, like it did for you. So
Hmm.
I've learned I need to step back and let life teach them.
And that,
You know,
and then my mom used to call, because my mom and I miss her terribly, but she used to call that with myself the white horse syndrome, which
yeah,
it is, because you think that da 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 da, I'm gonna
right,
save them, they're gonna be
right,
okay, and you're not.
right,
You're 100% not. All
yeah,
you're doing is teaching them what you can do and not what they can do, and
yeah.
that's a hard lesson to learn.
It is, it
And
is.
especially when you love somebody so much,
Yeah,
you have to, and to have that disconnect, not because you don't love them, but you want them to succeed.
right. I'll tell you another story. So when I started, how can I put it? When I started to get it per se, start like setting boundaries, I have another friend that needed me for something, needed me to assist with a situation, and I felt I handled this very well because this is something that this individual could have did for themselves. They had set time without even consulting me. They kind of set time to decide that okay, this the day, this the time that you're gonna help me with this, and I'm like, no, I'm not. And so when that time came, of course, I didn't do it because I'm like, no, this is something you can do for yourself. You don't need my help with this. And then, I mean, like a week and a half later, um, we met up. This person had a conversation with me. They were really hurt. They felt like, oh, I thought we were friends, blah, blah, blah. I really need your help, and blah, 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 blah. And so I told him, I said, you were more than capable of doing this for yourself. You didn't need my help. As a matter of fact, you got it done without my help. And I had to explain to them that for me, number one, I was too busy with work and outside of work. Like I had too much going on. But I knew this was something that this individual was capable of handling because this individual is very resourceful in a lot of different ways.
Hmm.
And so they were able to pull from other supporters or resource, however you want to call it, and get it done. But they felt like you could have done it because I know you're strong in this area and I didn't have time for that. And then plus you're gonna set time, make time for something without even getting my approval. You told me about it. I never gave you a yes or no. So that was another thing that kind of boiled my water. I'm like, with them, I said, I'm not gonna help you with this. No way.
You know what, Jesse? You know how I would have handled that situation?
But
Because that's happened to me before. Instead of being on the defense,
yeah,
I would have said, congratulations. I
yeah,
am so proud of you. You were able to take care of this.
yeah,
See, you didn't need me. You did
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah,
And you can do this,
yeah.
because it put you on the defensive by them saying that. But
Yeah,
turn it. Congratulations, you were able to do this. So you
yeah,
didn't need me,
right.
instead of being on the defensive, because then it
Yeah,
makes it a negative thing instead of a positive thing.
yeah.
Just my thought to you.
Yeah, we're good now. We're good now.
But I
Uh,
mean, when it happens,
yeah,
because it happens, because when you're the white knight syndrome,
yeah. Which I have in
it,
this
and it
individual
does,
life too.
and it does put you on the defensive when you feel like
Yeah,
you've faltered that person, even
yeah,
though you know you haven't, but it
yeah,
still puts you on the defensive.
yeah,
And so make it a positive instead of a negative.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Then they'll
so
see, and then they'll see those boundaries.
yeah,
It's like, okay, okay, this is what the boundary is in our relationship.
yeah, exactly. So let me ask you this. Uh, why is it important not to enable someone's negative behavior?
Because then it makes you negative.
Okay.
Then it
Yeah.
makes you negative, because if you it because negative, that's how you if that's the communication that you have, then it's going to make it a negative relationship. And
Yeah.
so then when that person calls you, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, here comes that negativity. And if they are negative, then that's fine. Then you just don't have them on your first touch, so to speak, and they'll be on the back burner, not your first burner. And just say, then and then even bring it to their attention. this is in this is a negative thing for me.
Yeah.
How can we make this a positive? I
Yeah.
want this relationship to work. Let's make this a positive. Ask me a positive question, or let's have our conversation be positive and not negative.
Yeah.
Because the negativity, and then it brings up the relationship where it's like, oh, okay, here it comes. Here
Yeah.
comes this person that's the negativity of my life.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because and that's how you make that. And it's about the barriers and making sure in your relationships. Because I mean, it took me a long time to realize this with a lot of different people in my life.
Yeah.
I had to set those boundaries. And when you love somebody with your whole heart, it's hard to do that.
It is very hard to do that. It's
So
very hard to do
it
that.
takes time. So give yourself some grace.
Yeah. Even
But
when you have even if you have a healthy, when I'm saying relationship, meaning it's parents, son, friends, spouse, kids, whoever, it's still hard. Uh, time is running out. Danny, we can go. We know we get lost in these conversations.
absolutely, it's like,
So,
okay, you guys shut up.
right, right. That's what he says in the words of shut up. Okay. Well, Dana, thank you so much once again. I really do appreciate you. You have by far been one of the best people I've interviewed because we just flow. We flow. We could talk about anything and everything. We need to be running the country, not Trump. Oh,
Would
all
be a
right.
lot more positive.
And I know, I know. Well, thank you so much, Dana, for taking out your time and just having a conversation with me about enabling. And I'm sure we'll be chatting it up again, okay?
Absolutely. Have a fabulous day.
Thank you. And that's it for this edition of Mental Health Matters. If you enjoyed this particular show, if you would like a DVD copy of this show, or if you would like to be a guest on our show, please dial 916 366 4600. Thank you.